take off.
Hello, so thank you for meeting with us. So introduce yourself, introduction. So with that being said, if you just want to, I guess, go around the whole table, introduce yourself, your role.
Yeah, we can start down this morning.
I'll start. I'm Lauren Bekins, and I am the product expert and manager.
I'm Taylor Stepanek, and I am one of our analysts.
I'm Anna Schwiff, and I am the lieutenant.
I'm Cal Brinkman, I'm kind of the main decision maker.
I'm Zach Slagle, I'm the other analysis.
I'm Miranda Bowman, and I'm the product expert.
I'm Zach Mack, I'm our team leader.
I'm Jack Kramer, and I'm the vice president of sales.
I'm Shannon Lowry, and I'm the data analysis.
I'm Blake Hoffman, and I'm also a data analyst.
Yeah, so we just kind of wanted to thank you guys for meeting with us today. We really appreciate your business over the last few years with us. And just being such a successful company, being worth over $35 billion. We hope to help just ease your employees' stress overall with their moving process and freeing up more time for them and everyone involved in the company process. So one of the most important things for Bekins is that you can make relocation appealing to an employee and offer a professional move to them.
So with that in mind, we just want to go through our openings again, just to make sure nothing's changed. That works for you?
Works for me. Do you want to go over the agenda real quick too?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Go ahead.
So start with your openings. So you start with a contract value of $15 million yearly, contract length of 1 year, discounted contract 45% with credit terms of 510 net 90. With a promo or for our promo video length, you had no opening offered, but we just wanted to look at reducing that. And renewal terms, you were looking for quarterly. Has that changed at all?
Has not changed.
And then I'll just go over our openings, just to make sure that we're still on page with that. So our opening was a $12 million annual contract with a 10-year term. We're looking for a 10% discount to give with net 60 credit terms. And we're looking for that 3-minute promo video. That's still what you have written down?
Yes, and we also have that for renewal terms in the contract, you guys put 0.
That is correct. So starting things off, do you want to just go on the list again of just importance?
Yeah, kind of the agenda, and I think we'll go through it kind of 1 through 6 in order of importance. So starting with the value contract, we'll discuss that, kind of our reasonings for both sides. Then move on to the discount, why we believe it's a good number, and then same for you. And then move on to the contract length, talk about our renewal terms after that. Then we'll move to the credit terms, and then we'll discuss the promotional video. Is there any time in that order that you would want a break to happen, or do you want to just feel it out until it happens?
I think it'd be best for both parties to just kind of feel it out, see where we are throughout the role play, and go from there.
Yeah, sounds good.
So starting things off with the contract value. So you start off with a $15 million contract. Do you have any reason why that number came to mind, or where do you see that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, like you said, we've both been happy with our business for the last few years. And our plan is just to kind of use you fully, full-time service at all locations in the future. So we wanted to hire a contract just so we can have that service. And we realized that it is almost 3 times what we're currently doing. But yeah, that's kind of why we ended up at 15 million. We just really, because we are using other companies as well, we just thought it would be easier if we decided on one and use it across the whole company.
Definitely.
And I see that you guys opened with 12 million. Is there a reason why you found that number?
Yeah, so we've worked with a plethora of companies of similar value, and we've seen a great proven track record of success for those companies with a similar contract value. That's kind of what came to our decision at $12 million. We believe that's a valuable number for both parties.
Okay. So kind of learning from same sizable companies, what
Yep.
you guys do. Okay.
Yeah, it's just kind of demonstrating the same track record of success that we have seen and provided. Just want to give that benefit to you and your company as well. So clearly, I mean, we're obviously $3 billion as part of that contract itself. Is there anything that is most important to you with that contract? Obviously, you were looking at a 1-year contract length. Is there a reason why you only wanted 1 year if you're looking for a full-time contract with us?
We just wanted 1 year just because it's new. We want to see how it works out. I think we talked about it in the meeting before this that we'd like to talk about new negotiations, possibly guarantee even longer agreements later on. 1 year just because it felt comfortable and safe. Of course, we can talk about that more and come to an agreement there. But yeah, the only important thing with our $15 million value is that we just hope that you're able to perform to that $15 million, because it is, like I said, 3 times as much as what we were previously doing. But it appears that you've done this with sizable companies before, so that's kind of what is important to us there.
Yeah, and then moving down from that 1 year, you're looking for a 45% discount. Can you explain why you're looking for a 45% discount with only a 1 year contract?
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of depends on what we agree for the length and the value, because that'll play heavily with the discount. We started at 45 just because at that high of a value. Actually, Taylor, if you want to go into this about the percentages.
Yeah, for sure. So we started with 45%. Let's say that we did agree to the number that we stated with 15 million. That 45% would get us to a total discount price of $6,750,000. And ultimately, we would still be paying that $8,250,000, and that's still double what we're currently doing with you guys today. So ultimately, it'll benefit both sides.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, yes, it'll benefit both sides. As mentioned earlier, you're a $35 billion company, so with that in mind, I mean, money's gonna be a little bit tighter on our side, and we're not gonna be able to give as big a discount as you're looking for. With that in mind, we're also not looking to do a 1 year contract. We want to do something to provide a longer term. Deloitte is actually one of the top 50 fastest growing technology companies in North America, as you're probably familiar with, which goes to show that there's going to be a reoccurring need and demand for those relocation services that we're offering. And yeah, with that in mind, is there anything in particular that you have to question us with our discount length for opening? Or?
No, but I mean, we think that, yeah, we can definitely talk more about the contract length. I mean, 1 year is very short. It was just kind of something safe and comfortable. But I think that's something that we can be able to agree upon in terms of including the discount and the value of that. Yeah, is there anything else you want to hear from us on that?
I think that kind of sums it up. So I just wanted to do a quick little overview to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, I just think if, like you said earlier, if you just want to use like our company fully to get the best of our business, a longer contract than 1 year would really be beneficial to both of us.
And we agree, and that kind of also ties in with the renewal terms.
Yeah.
Because it's not like doing a whole new contract, but it is kind of a little bit. You're not renewing it, but we're kind of just rediscussing. So yeah, if we talk more about the contract length as well as the renewal terms, I think that we can find something that is happy for both of us. Does that answer you guys' question?
Okay, that definitely does. So with that being said, do you want to just start by trying to figure out an agreement on the contract value and then go down the list from there?
I was thinking that maybe we can wait for that after we split up, just so we can all kind of be on the same page and talk a little bit on our own. But when we come back, I would like to do that right away. Would you like to move on to the credit terms, since we kind of already touched base on why we want the renewal terms so frequently? Or do you want to hear more on that?
Yeah, we can start with credit terms. I think credit terms are definitely going to be something that will tie in with that discount percent and contract length. But yeah, we can start with credit terms.
Okay. So yeah, right now you were asking for just net 60.
Yep.
Is there any reason why you asked for net 60?
Yeah, so we're looking just for net 60 credit terms. You're a pretty profitable company, and we think that if we were to provide a discount and the credit terms, it's going to be a little bit outside of our budget that we're looking to give us a discount. And yeah, with that being said, we're just not looking to provide that high discount that you're looking for, as we're not a profitable enough company ourselves to provide that for you.
All right. Maybe when we talk more about agreeing on the actual discount and the renewal terms, then maybe we can talk a little bit more on credit terms. As if we go down on our discount, we're definitely going to want maybe a 210, net 30. Just see how that plays out, depending on those values. Would you like to say a little more on that?
Yeah, so basically we kind of came at the 510 at 90. We kind of work in quarters as a company. That was kind of the same thing we thought, our thought process as the renewal terms, just kind of quarterly. So we kind of came to that for the 90 days, and then for the 5% discount, we wanted to get a little bit of an incentive to get you guys the money earlier, so that way you guys could use that money how you wish.
Is that gonna answer you guys' questions a little more?
Yeah, I think so. Talking more about the credit terms, I think maybe agreeing on like, we could possibly do 110 at 30, if that's a little closer, to the ballpark we were thinking.
Yeah, that sounds nice. And like I said, once we consider the discount and all those other values, we'll be able to decide on that more.
Okay, sounds good.
But we definitely would like some sort of net, or like, yeah, 110, something like that.
Okay, so do you want to set that 110 net 30 just for now and then go on to the next thing, or?
Not really, yeah. But we do like that you're moving a little towards that. We appreciate that, and we'll consider that when asking for the discount. Because obviously that will play into that. Do you guys want to talk a little more on the promotional video and why it'll benefit us at all?
Yeah, so the purpose of that video is just going to be a testimonial on our end, obviously, just to showcase the track record and the success that we have brought forth to your company. It's not something that's really going to benefit you entirely, as it's a promotional video for our side. We just want to use it in the future. If we have any companies that are looking for expert testimonials, a video is going to be a lot more beneficial than a paper.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, we'd be happy to do that. It's just the only thing is that it does take time out of our day and resources, which shouldn't be that much of a problem. And it's always a risk. We trust you guys, but it's always a risk to have somebody else's name with your name attached to it. But yeah, we'd like to do it, but we definitely might try to either get a 210 net or even a different discount or renewal terms, just because it really doesn't benefit us. But we would like to do that for you since we like working with you and we like what you do. So, yeah.
The one thing I would maybe add about the video is it is beneficial to your employees to have a moving company and something like that. So if you guys do a promotional video for us, which would be awesome, you could always show that to your employees and show the benefits that we provide.
I see. All right. Is there anything else, any other questions you have for us in terms of finding out more reasoning or any reminder on numbers? Because if not, we can kind of separate and talk as groups. I think we kind of understand what we're willing to give up or give into. Does that sound good to you guys?
Yeah, it's fine for your team if we are the ones to leave first, and then if you want another meeting in the future, you can stay and you guys can go.
That's perfectly fine.
Perfect.
Yeah, just don't forget to knock. All right. I haven't looked at any notes.
We were just kind of talking and saying, since they already gave that one time, that means that they'll give a little bit more, since that was their first offer, so if maybe we went for 310, coming down from our 5, we could settle at 2, and then that would get us our 210 that we wanted originally.
Yeah, I think they could 100%. Yeah, if 110 is like what
Once
we
that was
have.
their opening, and then they went with the net 32, I think we would
100%.
definitely get that 210.
Yeah, just like that, like we should say that that's.
And then we can say that we can come down from our discount slightly too if they offer that 210.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We can say
And
we
maybe
can come down
offer-
5% from our discount.
And maybe like a little bit of a longer
I
contract.
think more, because I think we should try to use the promotional video to get the net terms.
Leverage that.
Leverage the promotional, he was just asking us to try to use the promotional video somehow. I think we should use that for the net terms, and I think we should go down to like 25%, because then if we do let's say they accept the 310, then we're at 28% if we pay in the,
I think
That's
maybe
true.
go down to, we could go down to our target and see how they react to that. Because then we can still go down a little bit more, but we don't
Yeah.
want to go lower than 20.
Yeah.
But I say go down
should we go to
our
30?
target.
Because 35 still might be a little crazy.
Let's
I
just see what they
suppose we
say.
know we're gonna
Yeah.
go down more than that anyway, so I
Okay.
say go to that 35% and see how they go, because we know we're gonna go down further, but because if we go down way too much in the beginning, they think they're gonna get us to go down more, and we don't wanna do that too fast.
Okay. I mean, what's it gonna look like? I mean, does that mean like they're gonna give another offer, then we're gonna give another offer, then we're gonna give another, like, it's gonna be back and forth until we get to like that
Okay,
comfortable,
yeah.
okay.
Also, I can talk on contract length for.
That'd be great.
We should
If
use
we're
the
gonna go back and
aspect.
forth, maybe we should go just a little higher than 35, give us a little wiggle room to still hit our target.
37.5.
So come in at 30, yeah, 38.
That's why I said 40 at first, go down 5%, because we still
Yeah,
have
that
that
works.
2% back, but we can still go down from there too.
Yeah.
Just keep working up until we
So,
get to that
I think,
closer.
are we going in the order? Because if we do, sorry,
I know we should.
if we do, then for the discount, whatever it ends up being, if we decide on a discount before we're talking about credit terms, which I don't know if we will, I mean, that might just take it away.
I think we should
So-
decide on credit terms first and
Credit
then
terms
go with
first.
the discount.
Okay.
Mhm.
Lock that in.
And whatever we do, whatever spot we're trying to get better with the promotional video, we can just throw that in also.
Okay.
Also use the aspect of the promotional video could be held against us in like some aspects.
Yeah,
So we
it's
don't
like a
want it,
risk.
it's a risk for us and it's good for them, but for
Mhm.
us, we don't gain a ton from it.
Mhm.
So using that as leverage with other things would be beneficial too.
Yeah, this year, we did kind of cruise over the contract length part.
Yeah, that's all right, no worries. But I can definitely, I got a lot more to talk about.
Okay. So yeah, maybe you could go away from the 1 year since we already kind of mentioned that. Because I think we're okay with doing
Just
more years
yeah.
as long as the renewal is low.
I think we could kind of
Yeah,
just
yeah,
give them,
exactly.
we can go up from our quarterly and bring it to a year, if we can maybe go down to like, maybe just start at 2 years and see where they'll go. Start with
Two
their target,
with a renewal terms that are like annual.
yeah,
Yeah.
Because they have,
because we're gonna have to give with
That's
that
our
one.
target.
I know we're
Because-
not gonna get
Yeah.
that.
because they now know that like we want all their business, so they're gonna be like, well, why do you want a shorter contract length? So I think if we,
Yeah, I can tap into that.
okay,
That
you got
works.
that? All right.
Yeah, it's just like all the flexibility, like they said, we can kind of, they said that's
So do we
That
wanna
looked
try when they
like
come
one of
back in to try to
biggest,
set those
fastest
credit
growing
terms right away
company.
We
then?
need to maintain
And just get that done
flexibility.
with,
Yeah.
and then we can maybe go to the
Because-
contract length,
our employee preferences
Okay.
are
And then-
changing.
Yeah, I like
go
that.
through all
The
this stuff.
dynamic of.
What are we going into with renewal terms? Like what are?
Well,
The renewal
Did
terms
we
kind of
even
go
really-
hand in hand
did
with
we
the
even really
contract
talk about
length.
that with them?
not really. We kind of just discussed like our reasons for why we want it longer or shorter,
Okay,
and like
but we didn't get to like
and-
specifics.
they're kind of winning the conversation on having a longer contract, but we're definitely winning on the renewal
Okay,
part.
sure,
So if they win the length, at least we'll have the renewal.
yeah.
And then winning the length, I think, is more important than the renewal, so we could use that as a leverage for discount.
Definitely, oh, 100%, I completely agree with that. Okay, so where are we gonna start when we come back in, what do we?
I think what we're gonna start with,
Figure out our credit terms, kind of go off of there.
yeah, because do you think if we agree on credit terms right away, then they have really no reason to go higher with the discount? You know what I mean? Because they're like, well, you're already getting this much off.
Yeah, it's only 2% that we want,
True.
like with our credit terms, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, the credit term
Just say that we
discount
can
is
go
what
down
it is.
from our-
Not true, yeah, I
Just
guess,
say the discount be more negotiable, with-
okay,
if we can get
the credit terms out
the
of the way.
credit terms, maybe start at 310.
Mhm.
So yeah, we'll see what they want to start with, obviously, but, so we'll do that. And then I think we should move to the length, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
after we have the
Right afterwards.
length, then I think we can get the discount and renewal. Because I really do think the value kind of comes in, I mean, because what do we really want, like, in terms of value? Like, do we want something more than they do with the value part?
Yeah, because I feel like we kind of mess with that value
Yeah.
part, so it's been really confusing, especially.
Yeah,
on
it's
student
more of just
loans.
like a, I
Well,
think
we
it's
can
just
also
like a
use that
hand.
as argument, like we can go down to a 12 if we can get this in return.
Okay, I
We
like
get a
that.
little bit more discount or something like
Okay,
that.
I
You know
like
what I
that.
mean? We can try to use our
Mhm.
mistake to our advantage.
Yep, I
In a
like
way,
it.
because they don't know our
Because for us,
side.
discounts are huge.
Mhm.
That's all we really care about, is how much we pay.
Yeah. Did you guys remember everybody said that?
You know.
When they started doing this, they're throwing facts at us, I was like,
Just nod.
Yeah, I was like, yeah,
he's like, of course you know, I'm like, oh.
yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't I?
Yeah. Of course we know that.
We've got about 40 minutes.
We're doing good, yeah, I think we're doing.
Yeah, because we started at what, like 30?
Yeah, I started it right as he did.
Okay.
All right, and then when do we want to plan to take our like second break? Like,
even if we have, like,
I think
I
try to
feel like
crank
we
out
should-
2 or 3
yeah, I was
days
just
and
gonna say, I feel like we
maybe when
should-
we're discussing discount, I have a feeling we're gonna wanna do another break and
Yes.
kind of reconvene everything.
I feel like let's try to set credit terms, length, and then
Maybe the
Discuss
renewal terms?
discount.
maybe renewal because of the length,
And leave
and then
value.
leave, and then come back to
I
value
feel like-
discount.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna touch a lot on the renewal terms just because it kind of goes hand in hand with
With
that
life.
contract.
Yeah, definitely.
I think those will kind of work itself out, and then
And
we
then Laura, you can come
discuss-
into,
Yeah,
you can help them with that too
And-
if you want.
If there's anything that I mentioned, like numbers wise, and you kind of want to just hop in with like annually 2-year contracts.
yeah, I can,
Along those.
or if you're
along those
talking about it,
lines.
and I can always just like start typing it in, and then if you wanna like glance over, you
Yeah,
can
just
see.
so I don't mess it up and say
Is
something.
there
wrong.
anything you would want to mention?
Whenever you want me to be
I
like,
don't think so.
whatever you wanna chime in.
Yeah.
Because really, the percentage.
Come in. Thanks for knocking.
Yes.
Hope it was a good talk.
Yes, it was.
So how'd that go?
Well, I think I would say a really good time to kind of break apart and further discuss after kind of getting the reasoning for everything.
I agree. Did you guys talk at all about how you want to start this section now? Because we did as well. But
Yeah,
I
so,
wanna hear yours.
so we were thinking that if we were to start with contract length, that's definitely the place where we both are farthest apart from each other on.
Mhm.
How's that sound for you?
Good. We wanted to discuss that too. But something we wanted to talk about beforehand, maybe just kind of get set before moving on to length or the value, is if we could get credit terms kind of set in there. We're kind of leverage the promotional video here, and we're gonna ask for 310 net 60. What do you guys have?
So before we had that meeting, I did hear you mention that you were thinking of a 210 if we were to do that video.
Mhm.
I think that if we were kind of to stay on that lower end, we're not willing to move up to 310.
Okay.
Obviously, we can shorten that video, so we started with a 3-minute video.
Mhm.
I think that if we were to do, let's say, a 2-minute video, just to kind of showcase the benefit of our company to yours, and we'd be willing to do that 110, not 30 with that 2-minute video.
Okay. The time on the video doesn't really, like I said, doing the video doesn't take too much out of us. It's more of just like a risk, with not much benefit towards us. Would you be willing to go up to that 210 and keep it in that 30 and not in that 60?
I think that if we were to do a 210, it'd have to be in that 60 credit terms.
Okay.
How does that sound?
Good sound? All right, to you guys, 210.
I think with the 210, I believe we could maybe lower the discount slightly if we could work out that 210 net 30. We could talk a little bit more about discount pricing and lower that slightly for you guys.
If you guys are nervous about working with our company, do you want me to give you a little bit of background about who we've worked with previously? Would that make you feel more comfortable? Because we have a few primary partners that our names kind of go together.
Yeah, I mean, we do trust you guys, and we've worked there before. I mean, we've had slight issues in the past, nothing big. And we're not saying that this is gonna happen, it's just, there is a risk putting your name with somebody else's name.
Yeah.
And we do know that you have other valued clients and customers, and we respect that. It's just more risk than reward for us.
Okay.
And it is a little risk, but there's really no benefit to us. So that's why we're kind of asking for this 210 and that 30 in terms of doing this video.
So you were saying that you would be willing to do a 210, but you wanted to negotiate the discount you were talking about? Like, can you kind of elaborate on that?
Yeah, so we just kind of talked in here when you guys stepped out about how we could maybe go a little bit slightly down from our discount percent that we originally had with you guys. If we could get a little bit more with that 210 at 30, if that's something you guys are interested in. We said that we could go down about 5% and bring that down to 40% and still discuss that at later terms, but right now we could lower that to that right now.
And again, it is just a motivation for us to get you your money faster. So it does kind of benefit you in that sense, having your money there, and of course it benefit us too.
I just think that's out of our ballpark range because we kind of opened with 10% discount, and we we kind of did talk about, before we stepped out, 110 net 30. So, if you do want, closer to the 210 net 30, then we would definitely have to come lower on this now.
Okay. Well, oh, you can go. No, did you have something?
Yeah, so kind of just tying into that, with that discount, a 40% discount at a 1-year deal is not something that we are even going to consider.
Absolutely.
I think that before we can actually agree on a discount percent and finalize that credit terms, we need to kind of discuss that contract length.
Absolutely, yeah, we talked about that a lot during that, and Emmett, I think, has a lot
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah, I can jump into that one. So you all opened with a 10-year contract with no renewal terms, and that's just something that's really not going to work for us. Like you said, we are a really fast-growing company, top 50 as you stated. So we're a company that needs flexibility, and locking ourselves into a contract that long with no renewal terms whatsoever is just not something that we can do. And having that shorter contract, in my opinion and our company's opinion, would benefit both of our companies. Just in case, something isn't working for your company or ours, we would be able to come back to that maybe a year later and, maybe chat about what we can change to benefit us both.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. I understand that the renewal is definitely important for your company. How would a 8-year contract with a 2-year renewal sound? So it gives you 2 years. Obviously, you've been working with our company for a few years. You're obviously content and satisfied with our service. So I think that a 2-year renewal with an 8-year contract length would benefit both of us.
Yeah, that's definitely closer to what we're looking for. But yeah, once again, the renewal terms are just really important, and we are growing fast. We think that a 1-year would be great. Would you be able to meet us at like a 4-year contract with a 1-year renewal terms?
I just don't think that's something we can do.
Okay.
I think that a 4-year contract is still definitely low. Obviously, we opened with a 10-year, and I appreciate that you're going out from a 1-year contract as we're looking for a long-term partnership. But I do think that 8 years is going to be more towards where we're leaning on that.
Okay.
We would be willing to work with you on that renewal term. We could do a yearly renewal. However, it would have to be greater than 4 years.
Okay.
If I could just hop in, I'm just questioning as to why your company wants such a long contract and what benefit and value it's going to provide for us.
Yeah, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so a lot of the people that we work with find that it's nice to have that consistency of knowing who you're working with and continuing to work with them every year. We work with churches, federal employees, and a variety of real estate companies, and they have found a lot of value in consistency and knowing who they're talking to and who they need to talk to. And we've built good relationships with them as we're working on with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I still see that being a possibility even if we were to have a shorter contract. And nothing needs to change in that sense, but just on our end, being able to renegotiate and, like I stated before, if something's not working for us or for you all, that we would be able to come back to that and hammer out the issue that otherwise we're kind of just trapped, and that's something that we really can't do. And we really need to be able to maintain that flexibility, especially for our employees and the changing preferences for moving situations.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'd like to add, I think we would be more willing to move up to that 8-year if we're able to get more on that discount. That's just something that I think would kind of go hand in hand with us. If we're getting less flexibility on, our terms, a little more discount would help with that decision. So yeah, if we get more on that discount, I can see the 1-year renewal, 8-year contract as a very good option for us there.
Is there a specific discount percentage that you were looking at to work on that 8-year contract or 1-year renewal?
Well, we were hoping to get a little more out of the credit terms. So if we decide to do the 1-year renewal, 8-year total contract at the $15 million value price, we would like to stay at 40%, just because it's such a long contract. Yeah, do you have a response to that or any questions to why we?
So you're saying 40% for that 8-year contract length with 1-year renewal?
1-year renewal.
So what would that renewal term look like? Do you just want to have the possibility to be able to opt out of it, or are you looking to just kind of negotiate like what we're doing right now?
It's
after
more,
1 year?
with businesses in the past, they always like the shorter renewal terms, just because it's more of a keep up with the date, like what's going on, what's working, what's not working, what could we improve on, what could they improve on. So it's more of just like a checkup, just to make sure everything's running smoothly. And that's just why we like to have those short renewal terms, just so that we are on the ball, knowing what's going on at all times.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely understand that. A 40% discount is definitely still gonna be high for us. I do, once again, appreciate that you're willing to work on that. You had mentioned that the credit terms is something else that you want to be able to increase if you did go up on that. We'd be willing to work beyond credit terms if you'd be willing to work with us a little bit more on that discount.
Do you have a number that you could go up with on a discount that we could kind of evaluate?
Yeah, so I would say that in order to benefit both of us, I think we'd be willing to work with a 25% discount, obviously going up from that 10%. And with that in mind, sorry, we would be able to go up to a 210 net 30 for credit terms. So that'd bring you at a 27% discount if you were paying the first 10 days.
Okay. Just a few more things, and then if it's all right, I think we'll have one last breakout if that works for you guys, just to kind of finalize. 'Cause I think after a little more discussing that, we can kind of get down to the terms and agree to this.
Yeah.
So yeah, as right now, what you just told us is you'll do the 8-year, 1-year renewal with a 25% discount and switch to a 210 net 30.
Yep.
Is that
That's
right?
right now.
And we already kind of, are we good on the promotional video there?
Can you kind of repeat what you were thinking about?
We're good on the 3 minutes. We'll do what you want. We can kind of use it as leverage.
Yeah.
So I think if you're okay with how that stands, we're okay with how that stands.
Perfect, yeah, sounds good for us.
With that being said, do you like our 15 million opening price? Because if that's too much for you, like, we know you want the money, but in terms of like if you're able to do the service to that value, we'll be willing to go down to your asking of 12. But that's just something that I need to know from you guys, what you're comfortable with there.
Yeah, so kind of bouncing off that, that's a really good question. So I think that a $15 million contract is something that we're willing to perform and showcase our value for that. So with that in mind, I think we'd be willing to stay at that $15 million if your team is willing to also.
Okay. All right, all right. Well, with all that being said and understood, before we go out, we kind of want to give a counter again to that percentage.
Yeah.
And we, very appreciate you going up from that 10 to 25. We think that's very grateful. It's just, with that long contract, would you be willing to do 30% at all? I mean, if not, that's why we're kind of discuss a little more in our breakout rooms, but so how do you feel with the 30% discount with the 12 million, not the 15?
At $12 million with the 30%?
Or would you prefer it with the 15?
I think that if we were to go up to that 30% discount that you're wanting, we would have to see somewhere closer to that $15 million contract value. I think as a team, we'd be willing to move down from your $15 to $14 million with that 30% discount. However, that's kind of where we're standing right now.
Okay, well, before we go on to our breakout rooms again, just so we're all kind of on the same page. So you just said you could do the 14 million up to the 30% discount with the 1-year renewal, 8-year total, and then the 210 net 30 credit terms. Does that sound right to you guys?
Yep.
With the 3-minute video.
With the 3-minute video, correct. All right, well, that being said, we will head out and we'll be back soon. And I think when we come back, we can kind of talk about the contract and the agreements.
Perfect, looking forward to it.
All right, thank you guys.
Okay, so I think they're a little confused on contract value. Because we've mentioned that we're willing to lower it, and they're still wanting to sit at like the $14 million mark. So with a $14 million contract at 8 years, with that 30% discount and 210 net 30, we're still, what? Isn't that almost
So-
over double what we were, our target is?
Our target was 8 million
Yeah, hold on.
for the contract value and 5 for the, so we're at a 30% discount, so we only went down 5% of our target, and the minimum was 35, so I think we're in a really good spot,
Yeah.
actually.
So-
They're gonna counter something.
If
I don't
they-
know.
Even, so what we currently have, if we agree to it, even if they meet the credit terms, we're tripling there.
So where do we have room to negotiate? I think the contract value is something that they're gonna try to lower, or they wanna get higher credit terms.
I mean,
I think a lot higher discount.
I think that's what they're gonna want, which is.
we can go up to 40% discount with,
Maybe we
with
sell
the amount of
for
years.
35.
Should we do 35, because that's our worst case?
Is that 30?
minimum.
I just put it at 40. Yeah, you could even go up to 35.
You could say like, we appreciate that, you have to put in for, I don't know how that's all we can.
Not this.
If
We
there's just,
appreciate your guys' business, so we're willing to meet in the letter.
Yeah.
Not something in the middle.
Yeah, we can ask.
We could be happy to,
We,
I could
yeah,
guess
we
35%.
appreciate our business and, yeah,
Yeah.
we're comfortable at 35% in order, or like in order to.
Should I whip out the contract right now?
Happy to have everything.
Should I have it ready?
if you need
Oh my
to
gosh.
as well, you can go down to 13.
13 million?
You can go down to 13 if they're still stuck on something.
Okay.
Just put 13 would still work.
So with
So
a
when they sit
$13 million
down, should I
contract,
whip it
how
up?
high the discount do we go to? 35 still?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we could go higher, but isn't our worst case 35? I would say 35 is the highest, but you can give higher credit terms. If you could go, you could give them the 310 at 30 if you wanted to.
Well, I think we should start like as we go down, like start writing like, yes, like this is what, I have another one.
Sure. Oh, wait, no.
Okay, so,
We're not gonna just go back to what they have.
Like
Say that
restate.
we're all set. If they want, if they're, unless they say the discount, I think we're fine, because that's what they said.
so it sounds like we like what they're saying.
So right now,
They're currently at 30,
Really
right?
bad.
Currently at 30?
Yeah, they said 30, but we could go to 35.
I'll just keep it this round, just so.
okay, so we're at,
So we can go up to 310 net 30
Yeah.
at 13 million? Or is that at
Yeah,
14?
Is that 14? But like, we could probably go to 13, because that's where we're at.
So if we give them 13, 35% discount, 3% credit terms, yeah, you can still do that.
So-
That would be like, I think, worst case.
But then, wait, what is it?
13,
So 13 for 8 years, 35% discount. And then 310 net 30.
okay,
We could, that
I'll,
would probably be like, based off of where we're at, that's
once
probably.
we restate it, like at the end, I'll like write it down, all down, like as we're going through it, and then put it on the contract.
But we were at 14, 30, and 2, right?
Yeah, just like finalize it.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Just make sure that they agree to everything before you write it down,
Yeah.
so we don't have like
Double
scribble.
if we,
Well, we make sure in case you mess up.
Yeah. I could do that.
if they try to go back to year or something, you could go down to like 6. It would still be at a number.
So you're
It'd
gonna tell
still
me
be
right
double.
away.
So
So we can
6
be
at the
flexible on
13.
years and
Yeah.
just,
If you, like
35.
worst case, like if they start trying to negotiate contract length again, you can get down to like 6 and we still double our primary goal.
just keep that 13 goal though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say 8.
So we're at 14 now, but we can go down to 13 if we need
We're
to.
at 14, 8, 30% discount,
What did they
2
say?
net, or
Right
210
there,
net 30.
they say
We
14?
could go down.
Yeah, they're at 14.
14, sorry. But you could go down to 13. You really could even do like 5, 35% discount and 310 net. They say 30.
Yeah.
You could go down to that.
210
But-
minus 30 is what we're at right now, right?
What do you say?
Yeah.
210, yeah. We could go to 3.
Okay.
I would try to stay at 8, but if they try to come back with years again, you could go down to like 5 or 6 if you needed to.
Are you gonna tell me right away we're good?
Yeah, I'll tell them that we like what offers on the table.
Okay. And then should our first thing be discount then?
That's what we should,
Go
we
up?
can go up to 35 if they,
Yeah, if they want to change anything.
And then just restate
I
like,
guess you could start no up anything.
no.
I'm so confused by that. It's like happy top.
There's like a, there's
15
like a
million.
curveball coming in right now.
They want to come here, just cut half everything.
Well,
I think
because
it's 20 minutes, so
ri-
we'll look at that.
Right now, we're at 14, so I'll say before our meeting, you were happy with. Like, I got it all written down. I was just like, I'll just start pointing. Like, before you said 14, 8-year, like, I know we negotiated, but what are we were at 20%, right? Right now, are we at 30?
We're at 30.
We're-
30?
yeah.
Okay.
Right now, we're at a 210 at 38 years, 1 year renewal, 30%.
I think that's on
for
there now, is what
14.
they said.
Okay.
Oh,
The 3-minute video was confirmed, right?
Yes.
yeah, they don't care about that, which is interesting.
They were really worried about it beforehand.
Yeah, you're right. We don't want to do this.
That's a risk without coming in here.
Okay.
I didn't know they were gonna do that. I
Yeah, I
had to
guess-
gosh the video right away.
Well, why did you go back up?
Yeah,
It didn't look flash.
that is weird. I mean, obviously, it's a lot more. Yeah, I mean, why did it go back up to 15?
Because our target was
I
12.
think our discount went up.
Oh, so they're willing to work with us there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing, if they want to try to rebuttal anything, we can start by going up to a 35% discount.
I would say we discount credit. Basic credit terms are important too.
Yeah, it's the least important of this, but they want to get towards.
Okay. I would
I
say.
think right now, I mean, if we did 210 at 30, yeah, 30%, it's gonna be 32%, and they open with a 45 and we open with 10. So we already worked with them on credit terms and discount,
Yeah, you can go up, yeah, I would say 35.
and just not any higher than that, so 35, 310 would be
Well,
max.
I mean, we could, but it wasn't our worst case.
Yeah, 35,
So I would say
310.
stick with 35.
So I think what's in there right now is what they said when they left last month, and they were gonna get some on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just so it's- Contract's ready. And the pen is too. You should be the one that's, we'll give it to them, but then you should be the one that actually signs it, because you're the main person.
oh, yeah. So,
Or maybe we all do.
I think we all did.
yeah, they had to sign it. That's part of the rubric, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Better write small.
Hopefully they're not like freaking out. Yeah, it is
They
too.
don't know what's happening.
Yeah, they only got 18 minutes if they are trying to.
But I'm not pull a curveball on us.
I'm surprised they jumped to 8. Like, that's just
Yeah,
such
they
a
went from
massive.
1 year to 8 years.
I thought we had to get to like 5. and just went to 8.
So bear with me. Oh,
Then
Come in.
Now's the time.
Really good, I think we got some valuable information out of that. How about you?
Same here. I liked how we left it. Obviously, there was a few things that we could probably work on a little bit. But in terms of the overall agreements, I thought that we worked out pretty well. If you don't have something to open with, we kind of have something to open with if you're willing to hear us out there.
Yeah, I think our team is definitely content with where we are right now. I'm glad to hear what you have to share.
Well, we're very content too. The only thing that was just a little bit not so halfway with us was the length of it. But we're willing to go down to a 27.5% discount from that 30 that we just talked about, to bring it down to a 4-year, still the 1-year renewal. And Emmett kind of has a little more to share on why we think the 4 years is important to us.
Yeah, so as we stated before, we want to give you all of our business at some point, and being a $35 billion company, that's going to be a lot of business for you all. And we think that a contract like this, the length should be based on the trust between the two companies. And being that we have done business for a little while now, yes, we have created some sort of trust, but we have had some sort of issues in the past, but I mean, things have been getting better, which we have definitely seen. But we just don't want to, take that long risk right now of 8 years. And we feel that, if we could just kind of foster that trust between our two companies and settle it somewhere between like a 4-year contract, that, maybe we could come back after that 4 years and give you all a lot more business.
Yeah, so is it the discount percent that you are willing to work with on that contract length, or is there, you just don't want to do that contract length?
The length is more on just, we don't want to be tied into 8 years if something goes bad. Hopefully nothing ever does go bad, but it's just more of a safety net. And yeah, like you said, in the 4 years, if everything went well and we have that trust, it'd be amazing if we, you know, had such a good trusting partnership that we'd be able to give you as much business as you want. We're just not totally there yet, but we are willing to move to that 4 years, if that is okay with you guys.
I definitely see where you're coming from on that. I do think that a longer contract is going to be more beneficial just for long-term success. As your team has said that you're trying to find a full-time contract. We'd be willing to keep that 30% discount if we could go down to a 7-year contract. But as mentioned before, 4 years is just way too short of a contract length.
And kind of just to like elaborate again, why is a 4-year not attainable for your company?
So we've already been working together obviously for a few years, and I do think that that proven track record that we have for benefiting both of our companies is enough to kind of bounce off of a longer term contract, which is why we're sitting at that 7-year. So we're looking to build that long-term relationship.
Gotcha. Yeah, I totally understand trying to, you know, create that long-term relationship between our two companies, but again, just having that flexibility for our company, being able to, you know, come back and look at the contract again, just in case, you know, something's not going well for your company, that we would be able to, you know, not be locked in for 7 years and we can make those changes where changes are needed. Yeah, I mean, I think sitting at 4 is something that we're going to be pretty tight on. It's going to be pretty hard for us to get up to 7 years, 6 years, even 5 years. And I mean, I think our reasoning makes pretty good sense, and the fact that we are such a large company and we are willing to give you so much business, we do just need to create that stronger sense of trust between the two companies first.
We do really appreciate you going back up to that 30%. Would you be able to do 5 years with that?
I think that if we were able to still stay on the higher end, I think that 5 years is a good starting point, but I do not think that is something that we're willing to agree on right now.
Okay.
I understand that your main concern is trying to, I guess, have a way out of that contract after if it's something's not working out. Would your team be willing to work on something like a 5-year contract with a 1-year kind of renewal term at the end? Overall it'd be a 6-year contract, but after that 5th year, you have the option to opt out if you're not satisfied with it.
Okay, and then that 6 year would be added on if we, you know, agree to keep going.
So,
Or you-
yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
sorry,
good.
it's a little mixed up there. So it would be a 6-year contract agreement. However, after that 5th year, you have the option to opt out. So it would be a 5-year contract if you do not want to go for that 6th year. So kind of an optional 6th year.
Well, we're not doing this in terms of like wanting to opt out. It's just more of a, in case anything goes bad, and then if that trust and, you know, we see how stable it is, then we're willing to do a lot more. And we think that asking for the 5 years is a little bit reasonable since we started at 1, you started at 10. Just that 5 year, and we can even go down to that 27.5% if that 5 year works out with the 1 year renewal terms.
I just think what we said before we last met, we were at a $14 million contract with an 8-year and 30% with a 210 net 30. It's just a lot more than what we previously talked about that you guys are coming down with. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, can you just kind of elaborate on why you have changed your mind? I know before that meeting we did agree, well, it was not set agreement, but we had talked about 210 net 30, 8 years, 1 year renewal, 30% for $14 million.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just kind of talk about why that contract length is decreased?
That's kind of why we wanted to go in that group, because that was kind of the only thing that we weren't going to say right here, but that's the only thing that we just couldn't do was the 8 years. It's just we can't be locked into something for that long right off the bat. And if we do that 1 year renewal, who's to say that we add more years onto it based on after seeing how it's been going for the last 2 years? Is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, you all do have a pretty perfect track record, as you had stated before, but I mean, I think if we could just see how this contract works out, there's no saying that we can't have a larger contract right after that one ends. And I think just having such a shorter contract right now is just pretty important to us just because we need to have that, I mean, flexibility and, I mean, safety for our business, I guess I should say. And just, I mean, I know I've said it a couple times, but being trapped in such a long contract is just something we really can't do. Just again, for the safety of our company, and it's just kind of like a security measure, like insurance, I guess. But I guess I should say, yeah, if we can just get it just a little bit shorter, it's totally something we could do.
Okay, so you were thinking a 5-year contract with a 27.5% discount?
Yes, with the same 210 net 30 1-year renewal.
Okay, so with that renewal, you're thinking just 1-year renewal terms is kind of same thing as before, being able to go through it after every year and change anything?
Yeah, just kind of check up with everything, make sure everything's going well, nobody has anything, no problems on either side. Yeah, it's just kind of like a checkup.
And you're not willing to work on that 6-year optional, or is that something that you're trying to wait and see down the road?
Well, I'm a little confused on the 6-year optional because when we do plan on finishing this contract, I mean, we plan on, you know, jumping to a longer, you know, like 8 years, 10 years, something like that, because I feel like if we make it to that 5th year, we're already pretty, you know, entrusted with you guys, and we only want to, we're comfortable with you guys. So I don't see how that additional year really plays out when, you know, we do kind of plan on, if this first one goes well, doing it more long term.
Yeah, I definitely understand that, and that makes sense. So if that's not something that you're willing to work on, I think we would be willing to agree on a 5-year contract if we can do a 25% discount on top of that 210 net 30. So it'd be 27% discount still, however that cost would be if you were to pay in that first 10 days.
That does sound very nice. We appreciate you moving down to that 5-year, because that's really big for us. We do like the sound of the 25% added on to that 210. Yeah, I think we can agree to that 5 years for the 1-year renewal, the 210 at 30.
So just to restate it all, we're at 14 million with, 14 million with a 5-year contract with a 25% discount and a 1-year renewal with a 3-minute promo video. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yeah. Did you say the 210 at 30?
210 at 30. Yes.
Okay. That sounds pretty good over here. I mean, we did talk about that in our last meeting. The only thing was just that length, and thank you very much for bringing that down. Yeah, we agree on the bringing that discount down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, if everything sounds good, we will fill out this contract, finalize everything, and then get signatures and go from there.
sounds perfect. Do you have any any numbers that could go along with? Do you guys want to hear any numbers based on that math that would, or are you guys okay? You guys have it understood over there?
Yeah, I think we're good.
You guys are good over there? Because, yeah, we have, okay.
Very excited to continue to do business with you all.
I am, yes.
So let's go around the table and sign.
Yeah.
We really do appreciate your flexibility with us.
Yeah, likewise, I appreciate all of your time. And, I think it's going to be a great long-term partnership.
I do too. I do too.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.